Welcome to the second chapter of Friends MOOC. I'm sociologist Dr. Cemre Erciyes at Istanbul Aydın University, Turkey. In the next 3 units, we will be together learning key concepts of cultural diversity, including ethnic origin, language, and gender, and discussing hidden barriers in cultural communication. The first unit we will be together is called Culture Across Time and Space. Time and space, concepts we each have an understanding of. But how does it relate to culture? Before coming to this discussion, let's look at what we will learn in this unit. In this video, we will first focus on concepts of diversity, ethnicity, and race. In the next video, you will hear insights from our campus and how diverse a single university environment can be. You will hear our students at Istanbul Aydın University talking about their ethnic and cultural backgrounds. The third video of this unit will focus on the concepts of minorities, diasporas, globalization, and transnationalism. You will also listen to the experiences of a scholar from India talking about her life in Istanbul. Then we will look into the characteristics of subcultures, followed by another Insights video where you will hear a queer vegan activist talk about their experiences and understanding of what it means to be the other in the society. The final section will focus on theories of multiculturalism. Are we living in melting pot societies or salad bowls? Or have we moved from these theoretical understandings and become more culturally self-aware, and we can live and communicate in harmony within all the diversity the contemporary everyday life offers? Before we wrap up this unit, you will hear an African student at Istanbul Aydın University talking about his experiences. Now that we know where we are headed, let's get back to how does culture change across time and space. What makes a culture distinct from another at a certain time or place? You have already learned what culture is and key principles of cross-cultural studies. When we refer to a specific culture, we refer to a medium of meaning and behavior at a certain time and place. What you understand of belonging to a certain cultural group, how you should act, behave, dress, communicate to be representing that culture can be different from what your parents, what your grandparents, and their parents understood of it. What influences our culture? Think about yourselves. Do you consider yourself as belonging to a certain culture? What about other people you meet? Do they identify you as belonging to a certain culture? Even when you refer to being a world citizen, you refer to a way of being, way of thinking, and way of communicating with everyone else. So, what has made you who you are? Your culture is influenced from where you are from, what is your ethnic origin, what languages do you speak, your gender, your family, education, religion, history, the media you follow, what is acceptable behavior in your environment, what are the basic common values, and your encounters with different cultures. Let's take the example of Europe. In Europe, there are currently 360 larger or smaller minorities and peoples. Of these, only 5 of them construct 1/7 of all Europeans. And there live 768 million Europeans whose ethnic distribution does not correspond with Europe's political division into 47 states. Despite the fact that we see similar lifestyles and values all around the world, thanks to the global processes and increased communication, the traditional cultures are still shaping the everyday experiences of people, and this creates diversity. What should we understand from diversity? The concept of diversity, as defined by the University of Oregon in 1999, encompasses acceptance and respect. It means understanding that each individual is unique and recognizing our individual differences. These can be along the dimensions of race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, age, physical abilities, religious belief, political beliefs, geography, or other ideologies. It is the exploration of these differences in a safe, positive, and nurturing environment. It is about understanding each other and moving beyond simple tolerance to embracing and celebrating the rich dimensions of diversity contained within each individual. As this definition suggests, race and ethnicity are the key dimensions of diversity. So let's look at these concepts. Race is a reference to what people look like, to their physical characteristics, such as the skin, the color of the skin, bone structure, hair, or eye color. Though in most cases, you may think that you can guess the race of a person by visual markers, there are variations in physical appearances of people from the same origin, even siblings. For example, I have been taken as a local in India when I traveled there for a wedding, wearing traditional Indian dress. Seen as a different race was my friend, also wearing a sari, and I was asked at the wedding by 2,000 people where she was coming from. This is just an example of how race can be understood differently in different places. In its time dimension, race and the ideas connected to race have a historical association with slavery, colonialism, political and economic repression. That oppressive past must be remembered, and it must be understood that race is a social construct based on physical markers, and there is still racial prejudice, stereotyping, and discrimination in the everyday life. Another concept we will focus is ethnicity. Ethnicity, different from race, refers to the way in which social and cultural difference, language, and ancestry combine as a dimension of social action and social organization and form a socially reproduced system of classification. According to Erikson, the most fundamental fact of ethnicity is the application of a systematic distinction between we and the others. This contact, the moment a group comes into contact with another, ethnicity appears. This contact can be through migration, through unrecognition of a desire for nationhood, being a minority in a diverse society, or some other reason. A recent study from the World Values Survey, which you have learned in the first chapter, found out that ethnicity is indeed associated with fundamental differences in values, attitudes, and preferences. However, there are many other sources of variation in culture not associated with ethnic identity. The study argues some regions in Latin America feature a weak degree of association between culture and ethnicity, while others like Sub-Saharan Africa and Asia feature more overlap. The degree to which ethnic classifications reflect deep differences in cultural attitudes varies across regions, so the extent to which ethnic identities are primordially given or constructed varies across locations. In other words, ethnicity, like race, have some fundamental elements, but it is also a construct in time and space. Now, come and meet with a diverse set of students from Istanbul Aydın University in the next video.